I'm gonna record for 10 minutes. 7.5. You don't mind? Just in case I was just about to press record. Oh, I already did. Thanks. Let me get some lights on. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all. Chris Wallace here, Advisor to Men. Merry Christmas for the season upcoming. Today we're going to do a special edition of the ATM News. We're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects. Look at that. It's the Defender app. Welcome. You know, one of the things that struck me as I grew into middle age was that no one ever told me it was up to me to create order. It seems obvious, maybe. I had to run into the order versus chaos dichotomy from sheer ignorance born from curiosity, meaning it's a damn good thing I like to read. I suppose it's also because I'd learned to be a manager in that purest of sales endeavors, the door-to-door crew business. I'd hustle jobs and extra money as soon as I hit double digits in age, and I benefited from my buddy and neighbor Graydon's work ethic. Taught me a lot, that kid. But working doors over the years taught me plenty more. When it comes to setting goals and making steady progress, what I see is that most guys have good intentions, often better than mine, but they often fail to systematize their efforts to win, or they're blocked somehow. Though women are usually exceptional organizers, order is key if we are to keep the forces of decay from overwhelming us. Let's admit that. That's also very much a male responsibility. Should we leave this to women? Well, maybe, but they might be a little busy. For example, I fling dumbbells around to keep grip strength and have done wall sits while brushing my teeth for decades to protect my knees. I used Daytimer's system to organize my priorities in college, and I still do to some extent. From this attitude, the quadrant system was born. Now, the quadrant system exists to organize daily actions around physiology, piety, people, and production, so that effort can be observed over time. It's the daily actions, you see. Like the way I've made my bed every morning for decades to put order into my world. Like how I say Psalm 118:24, this is the day the Lord has made, let us rejoice and be glad in it. First thing in the morning when I pull open the curtain to my room. Even as a comfortable agnostic, these set my intentions for the day. It's the rituals then. Rituals lessen anxiety, build resilience, form character, and often help with belonging. For example, Ma went to church her whole life. Dad, not so much. I asked him about it in his 80s, and he said he'd wished he'd gone. Felt that he had missed out on the community, he said. Some psychologists liken us to herd animals and tell about how the emotional system is governed by belonging. The beautiful part of belonging is shared causes and how as men stand shoulder to shoulder with each other, they can accomplish just about anything. And so, retired engineer and Defender board member Gary took our stuff and built a Defender app for the benefit of all men. The Defender app supports the quadrant system by providing a stable place to record daily activity and revisit that record later. Writing actions down creates a reference point that persists beyond mood, fatigue, and temporary self-assessment. It's also an app like no other. It contains daily quadrant tracking and a weekly quadrant summarizing page. It has place for daily to-do lists, and it also leaves room for a one thing to get done as this week's priority. Taking 15 minutes to review daily activities at the end of the week is really helpful. Failing which I would need to assess how committed I am to progress in managing my life. Goal setting starts with a no BS present time self-assessment in each quadrant. Then it asks that you create goals in each quadrant for the next month, season, and year. Firstly, it invites you to claim your identity by creating a destiny vision for each quadrant. Combined, these make up a kind of a deliberate masculine destiny path to follow. This is critical for men. We left room in seasonal and yearly goals to enter various levels of goals in each quadrant. For example, you can input a manageable goal, a slightly more challenging goal, a top-end goal, and a downright impossible or dream goal. Having this stare you in the face each day helps you decide what kind of man you want to be. Ask yourself, why be average when I can be amazing? In developing the app, we thought about building an interface so you could also access your data on a desktop or laptop. I'll tell you why we didn't do it. We want your stuff to be fully private, your eyes only. Besides, all the goals and journaling entries can be saved to the journal section on the app itself, or you can share it by email as a text file to keep in a file off the phone app itself and somewhere on your laptop or your desktop. Even though no one has time to look at your stuff, we didn't even want the ability under any circumstances to be able to look at it. A big reason for this is not just quadrant tracking and goal setting, but also the journaling functions, which contain some of my best proprietary journaling techniques. I refer to these as the T journals, as each can be described with a word beginning with T. I like those alliterations. For example, option 1 is the open free flow journaling, where you can enter whatever's on your mind. This is an important exercise where you can dump thoughts and feelings to find clarity. Hence, that's the talk journal. Gratitude journaling encourages you to write at different intervals about whatever it is you have to be thankful for. A practice with profound effects on mental health in the way it reduces stress and depression, builds resilience, improves sleep, and enhances life satisfaction. Hence, T for thanks, the thanks journal. The blessing exercise follows that same idea and invites you to find 3 things that went well today. Why are those things important and how to get more? I even get my kids to do this once, hence the tally journal. Caging the Wolf will be familiar to those who have read Sipping Fear, Pissing Confidence, and has to do with refuting the feed, fuck, kill, run, hide, lower order nervous system at play in addictions and general fear seeking. Instead, build your better character while claiming an identity you can be proud of. A man must defend his confidence at all costs, I say. Hence, tempted? The 10R process is found in the Taming Shame course and has to do with identifying negative feelings, but which may not fit the circumstances directly. These often signal an emotional trailhead of sorts. 10R provides a map so that you can update your internal operating system, hence, triggered. Lastly, the self-care writing exercise is included so a man has a way of dealing with old wounds that might still be affecting his approach to life. This is the exact process I used to get past being beaten as a child. You may or may not ever use this deeper work, but it's there if you need it. Hence, traumatized. All of these T journals can be saved into your personal journal library. The information stays on your phone where no one else can ever see it. You can also send files to yourself, as I mentioned. I find that option particularly helpful when reviewing entries about temptation, about being triggered, or about old traumatic events. So, there you have it, the T journals. In total, you have daily tracking, weekly progress, goal setting based on facts and not in fiction and that build character and identity, as well as the most comprehensive journaling options possible. The beauty of the system is that if reluctance or inactivity interferes with intention, it usually means there's work to do emotionally to resolve whatever's blocking a man's progress. Ideally, you want a squad of men to whom you can turn to for feedback. The Defender app makes the whole process more efficient, and its gamification makes it fun as well. You have no doubt heard that what gets measured gets managed. Life simplifies immensely with daily tracking because of its measurable progress. The alternative might mean 10 years go by for only a man to realize he did not, in fact, live a decade or 2. Rather, he lived a version of 1 year 10 times. Don't be that man. Set some goals, track your progress, defend your life. Be an amazing guy. Take the course, get the app, join the boards. Stay powerful, true, and free.